All right, welcome everybody. It's Friday, and as always, we have another event. This time is going to be something slightly different from what we've been doing in the past months. It's going to be a random character tournament, and although we have done random character tournaments before. It's been a very long time, and I could tell you over 3 years since we've done a, let's call it, proper tournament. Not that the random character tournaments were not proper, it's just that most of the times they were meant to be like after parties, short tournaments with fewer flags, or like a best of one and stuff like that. And again, that doesn't mean those are not competitive either. I'm just talking about like a strictly um, baseline standard type of tournament that we do. Like we do double elimination with best of threes, with best of one in the lower bracket, with 7 flags. And this time we're doing it with random characters. It's not everything completely random. Um, Basically, once a character is used, then that character can no longer be used until all other characters are used. So we're going to use the wheel of names. We're going to spin the wheel. And for example, if we get Jan, then Jan is out. Then we get Gideon, Gideon is out. We get Hassan, Hassan is out. Until we have to basically we have used all the characters, and then we're going to reset. So there is a chance that a player may use the same character maybe twice throughout the tournament, but most of the times they will get a different character, and very important, they will also fight a different character all the time. So that makes it not entirely random, but it makes it very diverse. As for maps, we're going to use most of the maps that we have in the game. We took out a couple of the maps, namely the modern maps, because they do not fit. The forge one with the hammer, because unfortunately the sound there is distracting, and a few of the very big, endless type of maps, like the big void, or which one? Or Connor's map, and so on. There are a few of those maps that are very large, and not because they would provide some sort of advantage to one character or the other. It's more like involuntarily you can get to points where people are just kind of backing off all the time, being pressured, and there's basically no boundary. So we are going to stick with maps that have some boundaries and they are reasonably spaced. So we have small maps, like for example the galley one, or the town map, or the stables map were very small. We got some medium ones like the void and village map, I would say, and also a few spacious maps: wine cellar, school, castle, courtyard, which also have boundaries, but they allow for more space and freedom of movement. So every round is going to be on a different map with different characters, so there's always going to be something new. So the chances of getting only unfavorable matchups or unfavorable situations are kind of low, but this is where you forge some legends and some amazing stories, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very interesting. Without further ado, let's go and do the bracket, and after that we are going to see which characters these players are going to use. Right, so let me share my screen with you. We got 9 people here today. I was expecting for a few more, but it's still a reasonable number. And we got plenty of opportunity to see some good fights. We're going to shuffle the seeds 4 times as always. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's have a look at the bracket. So Oak versus Info is going to be the first match. The winner is going to face me. We got Subu versus Brim, Rats versus Platy, and Polar versus Mechanics. So very interesting fights. Let's start the tournament, and also let's see who Oak and Info are going to use first. Here we go. So Oak is going to use Samuel first. So Sam is out of the picture. Now let's shuffle these and let's see who Info gets on her first fight. The fight is going to be on the Void map. The first one, I mean. And Tarnavsky. So Sam versus Tarna is our first fight here. As soon as we go to the next round, we're going to see who plays who. So there are going to be a few interruptions, so apologies for that. But it also makes it interesting for our viewers. Oakenlick's Sam versus Info, who's using Tarnavsky. Yeah, we're using physics, DMs off, retro mode as always. And let's see what results we're gonna get here. Oak is already good to go. Waiting for Info. Sam versus Tarna is very interesting. I believe Oak may have a little bit of advantage here. Mostly because he plays Saber. He has also played Sam for a good while. And Sam is actually quite similar to the character that he's maining right now, which is Jacek. As for Info playing Tarna, I haven't really seen Info playing Tarnavsky, so this might be, this might be a tough matchup. But as I said, this is where you get surprises. And one thing that I saw many times was when people actually get their main, they feel a bit more pressure than usual, and sometimes they even lose. But I guess many people would prefer to get their mains instead of getting characters that they don't know at all.
Hello.
Hello, welcome, Subu. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. A nice day this morning, and I just had lunch, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, good, because you're gonna be right after this one. So we got a nice first fight. It's Oak with Sam and Info with Tarna. I'm going to add you after.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Something happened. If you want, you can join. Ah, yeah, there we go. Gonna use this opportunity.
Sure, I'll try again.
Oh, something happened.
Yeah, it said I wasn't approved in time. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm in.
Let me see if there's some problem. You're sending inputs to me. Oh, okay. Probably. Let me take Info's keyboard out.
Info playing Tarna, what the fuck? Well, that's the event. random characters, so these two are using stuff that they've never used before. I am really curious though. Like Tarna is a very cut-centric character, let's say, very wide movements. It's quite a bit different from anything I've seen Info play, as Clemino rightly states there. So I'm really curious about this. Tarnovsky's name is unintuitive. Yeah, it's probably intuitive to Poles, I would suspect, but yeah, the Polish language is quite a bit different.
I like it with a W, and I've seen
Yeah.
it written with W as well, so I'm just gonna write it like that.
Yeah, I guess if you're familiar with German, it makes a bit more sense because they do similar stuff with the W's and the V's sometimes. So.
Good start from Oak here. Yes, this is a matchup that I would say favors Oak for a bunch of reasons, but this is precisely the moment when somebody can produce a surprise, and I think Tarnavsky is good enough of a character to win this match.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I just saw something, and not only it happens to Info, but I also noticed it on all the players that main Tarna is his switch stance attacks are usually very slow, and that's exactly the moment where they get caught multiple times. Yeah. I've seen that so many times happening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those punish windows that you can exploit.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably stay a lot more in his main stance. He has a lot of good attacks from that one. And probably switch to the other one only when trying something. Oh, that was nice. Trying something.
I mean, I've had success just using him like a regular saber. I parry and riposte, and yeah, his Y cut's a little bit slower, but if you basically time that cut right when you're parrying, it actually can be very tough for your opponent to recover in time because of how far he reaches. So that can be a good way to punish somebody who's just sort of testing your guard. Like you can immediately commit to the parry riposte and try and get a quick punish.
Yeah, I feel if you're trying all the time to switch stances, then you're opening yourself up for
there has to be a purpose.
Yeah, even players that play dual stance characters, they mostly stay like, I don't know, 80% of the time they stay in one stance. 70-80% of the time they stay in one stance compared to, I mean, I'm thinking about, for example, when Eve is playing Geddy who has two good stances, let's say. I mean Geddy has good attacks from both stances. He prefers to stay in only one of them more. Anyway, double
still.
Oak very close to winning the first set. It's best of 3, as I said.
Yeah. I'll say it's an admirable performance by Info, and Info still has an opportunity to cause a bit of chaos, and we could still get a surprise. You don't want to get too bloodlusted here, though, as the Tarna player.
Oh, nice.
Something like that might happen. That was great by Oak.
Yeah, that was a solid effort here from Info. Unfortunately, Oak takes the first one. Now let's see. First of all, let's change the names, and let's see what is the second pair of characters that we're gonna get. And the map is going to be the Winter Tavern. Okay, so this is Info's character. Info gets Jakub. Okay, Info has been playing Jakub recently. Maybe this is a good pick. And Oak gets... Man, this wheel is spinning. Marina. Jakub versus Marina. Oak actually knows how to play Marina a little bit. I mean, he knows how to play all characters, but I do remember him trying her for a little while. So Jakub versus Marina. Swap sides, please. And by the way, if you're in the tournament and you're fighting, it would be a good idea to jump into the commentary uh, so you can hear in real time what characters you need to use. Info, take left side, please. I think info needs. Oh, okay. There you go. Jakub versus Marina. And this is the map that we're going to use. I think you probably saw I removed a bunch of maps.
Yeah.
Um, for some good reasons.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have loved to see all the maps, but then I don't want to have some situations where somebody gets Marie, just backpedals all the time.
Yeah.
But not on purpose. You feel pressured and you just kind of move back. You don't realize.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it happens. So we're just gonna stick to.
It's fine, yeah, and they still have plenty of space to move anyway.
Yeah.
Info very determined, by the way, to use that small sword. You can
Oh,
tell.
nice.
Oh wow,
That was nice.
that was great, yeah. But there's moments where it feels like Oka's trying to pressure her, and she's like scrambling to get the small sword out, which is kind of hilarious.
That sucks. A reminder to all the players in the tournament, and there's something that I've noticed recently as well. We're playing on retro mode. Retro mode allows you to create some sort of custom combinations if you want. So you can do an attack that has a bigger wind up and then immediately cancel it into a faster one. So there are a couple of things that you can do even if you have a character that is not necessarily the best.
Yeah.
Just be creative.
Yeah. Oak is keeping it simple now. He's sort of just going in. He knows the small sword doesn't have much of a guard up close. That attack has no tracking, so unfortunately it missed pretty wildly there. A little bit embarrassing, but it's not Info's fault.
Oh, took his hat there. Yeah, Oak is doing really well here.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Oh, yeah. It was a good try by Info. I think there were some flags where she actually did really well. It's just unfortunately the reality of this matchup is one good strike from Marina is all that Oak needs. So.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately Info will have to move to the lower bracket, but a lower bracket can prove to be a place where people can get back to the final stages pretty quickly because they're a best of one, and since it's a random tournament, you can get some favorable matchups and climb back up. All right, Oak qualifies to round 2. We're gonna see him a little bit later. Now we're gonna see Subu fighting Brim. Obviously, Subu more experienced here, but in this type of tournament, you gotta have your eyes open and be ready for anything. So let's have a look at the characters that these two are going to use. And Subu is getting Yan. Okay, that's a pretty good pick, I would say. For a start.
It's about as good as it gets, yeah.
Yeah. And Brim gets Connor. I would say not bad. Yeah. Not bad. I would say this is a matchup where Connor can do well. But we'll see. Okay, Subu is already here. Let's call Brim in.
Yeah, I think Info might have done better with the Saber version of Jakub, but I get that Info doesn't want to play it, so...
Yeah, I would say so too. Probably that leg attack.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the side steps. And overall guard, I would say, is probably more solid, even though he's slower, but... probably trying to make things
You're basically playing Samuel against Marina at that point. just maybe a bit less responsive. But I'd say the tools that Samuel would want to use to win the matchup are all there. So
Okay, Brim says, can my match be postponed? I can at this very moment. Alright. Still, we're gonna keep the characters that that you guys had. Let's move on with Rats versus Platy. Good to see Platy again, competing in tournaments. I think this is going to be a very interesting one. I think these two are very similar in terms of profile.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see what characters they're gonna get. As I said, we're gonna keep the previous characters for you and Brim. Okay, so Rats is getting Marie. And Platy is getting Alex Dennis. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So Radzik is using Marie and Platy is using Dennis. I would say Marie can do well in this matchup if played right. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Radz is sleeping. No, she's right here. Okay, we're gonna wait for Raz to get in. And after that, we're gonna see Polar Grid versus Mechanics. That's also gonna be an interesting one. I was hoping for more players here today, but to have more matchups. But I guess it's a decent number.
Yeah.
We haven't had too many people playing recently. Around 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Not long ago, a few months ago, we had like I remember 16, 17, 20 people
Yeah.
in tournaments.
Yeah.
But yeah, we knew that that period of time will go away and we'll go back to kind of our usual. This is kind of
Yeah.
the usual, I would say.
Yeah. We're
Eight,
getting the same regulars.
yeah,
Yeah.
8 to 12 people. This is kind of the number. Right. So we got Marie versus Alex Dennis. Rats taking left side, Platy taking right side.
Platypi saying he does not know how to play
Okay.
Denise. So actually, Marie
So we
could
had
prove
this one. We're not doing
rather
this
problematic.
one. This one. Okay, this is a map where Marie can have a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
It's it doesn't have much room to go backwards, but it does have room to circle around.
Light hit, but yeah. Platypi knows the game plan. Long guard, close in, hit the head. and that guard collapses.
You know what's
Especially
funny?
against that attack.
Alex would have been your character if Brim was here.
Yeah.
You would have gotten him. But yeah, we're it's still random, so you know, we take it as it goes. Okay, double. Yeah, Rats is having trouble keeping Platy at range. Platy knows exactly what he wants to do here. Yeah, holding long guard, moving back and forth,
Mhm.
getting. But yeah, things like this can happen.
Yeah, you don't want to whiff. But easier said than done. You also don't want to hesitate, because if you do, you're basically giving Marie
Oh, nice.
more chances to hit you.
I would say, although Marie is obviously a long range type of character, she does have a lot of good options from close range as well.
Hmm.
So sometimes, you know, getting close successfully is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. That's why Jakob is so awkward, I think. It's weird to think about because he has a shorter weapon, but he doesn't do as well up close as the rapiers do.
Yeah.
He has a bit of an identity crisis when he's using the small sword, is how I would put it.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, Rats is back in the fight, 3-3. Tried again to hit the body.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
some
thrust
physics.
is actually a great setup. The only thing I would say about it is, as Platypi is discovering here, is it doesn't actually hit super hard. So on its own, it's not that good, but it can be a good setup to other attacks down the road. You're also kind of locked into it when you throw it. But he's
Oh!
using it to good effect here.
I think
So at
Platy
least get
just
some damage.
surprised himself there with with that attack and didn't follow up,
Yeah.
or maybe had a stutter or something.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, now Platy's taking control back. 5-3.
Tries to get a cut in, I think, but he got stabbed first. Nice, yeah.
Okay. 6
Just keeps
to
attacking.
3. One more needed here. Yeah, double lunge. Another double.
Clamino is suggesting the jump. That can go wrong very easily for either one. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. Platypi tries it. I think he hears the commentary, which is all good. I will say Marie probably doesn't block it very well, but I think she can cause it to whiff. Yeah, just by backing away. Punch, yeah, it just makes it messy. I think that's the tired swing too, by the way.
Yeah. And Platy wins the first round. Let's see the next characters. First, let's change the names. Yeah, anything can change here in these fights, because you're always gonna get a different set of characters, and things can change. Okay, here we go. Platy is now getting oh no, Kalkstein. He was right on the line. Kalkstein for Platy, and Radzik gets Marta. I think this is gonna be interesting, to say the least, because Rats actually plays a little bit of Marta, and if there's a character that can Marta do very well against, that's Kalk.
Yeah.
So swap sides, please. Platy on the left picking Kalk, Rats on the right picking Marta.
Yeah, this has the potential to be a very
and
tactical
it's
sort of fight.
here in the armory.
Nice. Now this does limit a little bit how much Marta can sidestep. I wouldn't say usually enough to influence the fight that much, but it is something to watch out for.
Oh, nice upcut. There's a good whenever we have these random character tournaments, there is a, let's call it, advantage that people have.
Hmm.
A lot of people do not go into these matches with biases. They don't think, because they don't main these characters and they don't think, oh, this is a very bad matchup. I never managed to beat this character and so on. They just kind of go in and just play the
Yeah.
game and just try different stuff and somehow they win. Whereas somebody that mains the character always comes in with certain biases and say, "Ah, this works, this doesn't work. I'm afraid I'm not gonna win this." And we're seeing it. We're seeing it right here with Platy. He's just kind of going in, throwing cuts, and is having success so far. Oh, nice.
Oh,
Double push.
nice. Yeah, the push is an attack in and of itself for Marta, so that's actually really nice. Calc has a pretty good push as well. He can do a similar thing. He pushes and then stabs your face. He switches legs when he does that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, when he dashes in particular.
So Rats is recovering some ground here, as we can see.
Yeah, Calc kind of wants to get in, I think, and just make it complicated for Marta. If it's a ranged game, especially with the points, then Marta will probably win. Just the question, how does Calc close in? Because his body's pretty open to those stabs. He has to be very careful.
Yeah, we also gotta give Rats praise for the placement of these thrusts. It's not easy to place them perfectly. Oh,
Yeah, Rats is
push.
showing some good knowledge of the character, I would say.
Yeah,
Definitely has played some Marta a little bit. We're seeing a lot of the meta moves.
nice.
There's a perfect sidestep,
Yeah,
which
yeah. This is where character knowledge comes into play and kind of takes over, even if the other guy is game.
blade
Defensive
beat.
thrust. Oh,
Ooh, that was a great try, but it didn't work.
oh, something happened there. I think some lag, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh, we're good. Okay. I think Platy is giving the flag because of the. Yeah, that's a pretty fair play, I would say, but I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, the flag was in play. It wasn't. We realized kind of very late that the Rats had a problem, so I wouldn't have, blamed Platy for
Yeah.
taking the flag. But yeah, Rats actually takes this one, and we're going into round 3. And to be honest, I want to see a lot of round 3s here because that would give people the chance to play more characters and to play more, generally speaking. Okay.
here's a prediction from Clamino. Next round, Rats gets Hassan. Let's see.
Let's see. So let's shuffle. There aren't too many characters left here. Rats is getting Yatik, a character that she plays. And let's see who Platy gets. He might get Isabella. Isabella's still in. Gedeon. Yatsik versus. I think this is a fair fight. I believe Gedeon does have all the abilities to beat Yatsik. We'll see. Yeah, Platy had the, I would say, the character advantage. Let's call it like that. or no, let's say the better matchup in the first round, but I believe in the next two, the matchup is not so favorable, but still winnable. Swap sides, please. Rats on the left playing Jacek, and Platy playing Geddy, and we are playing in Church. Here we go. You know what's one thing that I guess I don't like, but I wish this map had. And there's a bunch of other maps that have the same problem, if you wish. They are like the starting positions are on the more tight side instead of the wider part of the map.
Right.
Because this map
Yeah.
could look bigger, but it's just that the starting positions make it look like it's not that. Ooh,
Nice. Hit to the
quick
hand.
upcut. Yeah.
Yeah,
Geddy
Ratchet did
is
something there, like a little hop or a move, something like that. The hand
yeah.
was it.
Geddy is lightning fast, and
Yeah.
this is why Geddy can win this matchup. Because he basically cancels the biggest advantage that Jacek has, which is his speed. Geddy can also take a little bit more punishment.
Yeah.
Jacek's damage is not the best, but at the same time, Jacek's guard is a lot better as well. So it's a fun, interesting matchup. Yeah, 2-1.
Nice. Yeah, and Yazuk actually has the same left foot forward stance. Obviously, I would say his guard's probably still a little bit better there, but just the dynamic between these two can be really, really interesting when they start switching legs.
Hit landed. Oh, and again
Nice.
that quick upcut kills Radzik immediately. 2-2. Interesting fight here. Again, a quick sneaky snap cut to the arm from Radzik.
That's the type of thing Yazuk wants to do, to try and frame trap Gideon. The problem is if you whip that, because Gideon will probably, the Gideon player will know that you're probably trying to do stuff like that. So if you whip it, like they can suddenly hit the hand, just like we've seen earlier. So it's a really cool sort of back and forth dynamic. They both have tools against each other, I think, that work really well.
Yeah, nice side step there. I gotta say, since we're talking about maps, this is probably one of the most aesthetically pleasing maps out of all the ones that we have in the game. It's just like we have the lightning, we have the rain, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
4-3 now. Platy with slight advantage here.
Nice hit.
Oh.
And against the hand.
Yeah, the speed. The speed is Platy's using the speed well here. Oh,
yeah.
beautiful.
And if you get nice, yeah. Gideon has good ways to get around guard too if you get close.
Yeah. I would say Geddy is a very underrated character. We all know his shortcomings, but he also has a bunch of strengths and a lot of good weapons that he can use.
Yeah.
He has a lot of potential, I would say. He's not a very straightforward character, but has good potential. Oh, and a nice retreat. And Platy wins 2-1 in a slightly unfavorable matchup here. And moves on to the next round. Rats will be playing in the lower bracket a little bit later, but still very solid effort. Let's see if Brim is ready. Okay, Brim is ready. Right, so it's gonna be you on the left, Brim on the right. The characters that you guys got were Jan and Connor. And you're gonna fight on a pretty funny map. Which is the galley one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, if we should keep it or not, but eventually I thought that it would make it a very interesting fight. I think it's good enough for play.
Yeah. And it's just something different too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just a nice long sort of narrow map. Obviously you can't sidestep as much. Well, that's not to say you can't move laterally at all. You can a little bit
Yeah,
to influence the fight, but it is obviously a more linear sort of experience. But I
yeah.
think that brings pluses and minuses.
Yeah, I mean that was the point. The thing is with the other maps, like the bigger ones, there wasn't really something there that would. I mean, yes, you can say yes, it's a lot more space, but it was actually detrimental. Um,
Yeah.
so okay, you are on the left and Brim is on the right. Connor, okay, and yes, we're fighting on the galley map. Here we go. Oh! Subu starts with the first kill. Oh, goes for the quart there. Yeah, obviously it would be nice to have the ability to circle around Connor here to land some attacks because going against his shield is pretty difficult. But at the same time, you can play the game. Yeah, there you go. You can just play the game normally. Parry, pause, go in, maybe try a grab or a push or something, and you can still. I would say, although the side-stepping or circling ability is very limited, so I wouldn't necessarily use this map competitively all the time. Most people tend to just play the game pretty linearly, and this is no different here. I would say it's probably a lot more problematic when a map doesn't have much space to back off than much space to circle, because then you can run into some problems. Maybe there are some characters that can bypass the guard pretty easily, and if the space is too cramped up, then that can prove problematic. But anyway, we have a good fight here. Subu has now taken a 2-flag lead again. It's 4-2. Oh, and a nice forward cut there, keeping it simple. Brim gets the 3rd flag. And who knows? Oh, nice. Again, a forward cut by Subu. Subu keeping it very simple. He just trusts his saber. Jan is one of the characters that he does play every now and then. Bara being his main, very similar to Jan. But he also plays Jan as well. Probably his, in recent period, probably his second most selected character after Bara. Chops there into the shield. Yeah, Subu's just harassing the guard there, and that's what Jan is very good at. He's good at harassing. Oh, beat his blade there. That's one weakness that Connor has. Some of his attacks can be blade beaten. And whenever he's blade beaten, you kind of pull him to you. 6-4. And Subu might actually win this first one in a pretty uncomfortable scenario, I would say. And there you go. Subu wins the first round. Let's see what happens in the second round. First, we have to see the characters that they're going to get. Not many left until the reset. Brim is going to get Hassan. And Subu is getting Isabella. Yeah, very tough matchup here for Brim, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's how you become a legend, as I said it multiple times. Swap sides, please. There you go. Brim on the left, Subu on the right. Brim is going Hassan, and Subu's going Isabella, and the map that we're going to use is Wine Cellar. When we talk about, you know, characters, matchups, maps, and everything, yeah, those are important, and obviously they can influence the outcome. But at the same time, you still have to put in the work. You still have to put it so the match is not won before you start. So you still have to work. The player that has the favorable matchup still has to make that matchup work. And it's 2-1. Oh, beautiful side step. Yeah, 3-1. Yeah, Subu's keeping it simple, and that's the reason why he's one of the reasons why he's ahead, because he's not overcomplicating it. He's not bum rushing either. He's just playing this as he should. Yeah, Brim is keeping distance well. Also not going in blindly, but also pretty active. Trying to find the moment to attack. Tries a thrust here, but a little bit too far, I would say. And Subu takes the 4th flag. Oh, maybe some lag, I believe. Oh, try to grab. Good attempt. Yeah, that upcut is very problematic for Hassan. He can defend it, but harder in movement. Yeah, and Subu wins another one. And only one more needed. Oh, goes with the thrust there, but couldn't follow up. Subu wins 2-0. Brim had a good showing, but unfortunately Subu proved to be a little bit stronger, and Subu moves on. But Brim is not eliminated. Brim will be fighting in the lower bracket a little bit later. Okay,
Yeah,
we
good
got
game.
yeah, that was a good game. And now we're gonna see Polar Grid versus Mechanics. Not too many characters left here. And then it's me versus Oak. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters left. Some very interesting characters. And I think, yeah, I'm probably gonna get It depends on what happens. Okay, so let's see. Polar Grid gets. Let's shuffle. Laszlo. And Mechanics gets. Zera. Okay. The Mechanics has played a little bit of Zera. So, I would say he probably has a little bit of experience advantage here in this particular matchup. There's Mechanics. Grid is here as well. Here we go. Grid on the left, Mechanics on the right.
All right.
Yeah, Laszlo versus Father Zera. And the map is School. Haven't seen School in some time. This could potentially prove to be interesting because both characters are good with spacing. My personal favorite favorite map because it looks very immersive to a fencing tournament.
Yeah, just the fact that it's based on a real fencing school as well, a German one in particular.
Yeah.
Really like that. So nice try there. Couldn't beat the blade in time. It was way too close. I think both fighters have roughly the correct game plan here. It's just a matter of who's going to outplay the other.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice stab.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, yeah. That's the block stun there. He had to get out of there, I think, with a dash or something to punish that.
Yeah. Great start here from Mechanics, but as I said, Mechanics has actually used the Zera with good success a few times in tournaments. Oh, no, very quick riposte there. Oh, but
Nice.
this time mistimed the attack.
Yeah. And a good example, by the way, of how that back Y combo for Laszlo, although it obviously can be punished, I think it actually does have some uses, ironically, for forward pressure. Because he comes back forward out of nowhere when you least expect it.
Yeah, and I remember Kubal did something pretty similar with one of Yacek's attacks, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it was a retreat attack, but it was something that it was spammable and change it into like a combo, but the combo actually has a use now. He also did the same thing with after Isabella's thrust, he added something, I mean a continuation, but to be honest, although it works every now and then, it's not the best.
Yeah. Nice by Polar Grid though, he kept the pressure on. Even after the two cuts didn't quite kill, he still pursued, which I think was correct. You do have to sometimes be careful doing that against Zera, but I think he still picked the correct time there.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, Polar is pretty much back in the fight.
Yep.
And
no fear on Polar Grid's part.
Nice.
Oh, there we go.
And something that all players should keep in mind is that most people here in this tournament are going to be in unfamiliar territory. Even though maybe they played the character a little bit, but if you don't play the character all the time, you're going to forget a bunch of things. You're going to have your timing off, so you can take advantage of that if you keep your composure. 6 to
Yeah.
4 now.
Could also just be a matchup they're not
Nice.
familiar with too. Maybe they've played this character a bit, but maybe they've only fought certain characters with that character.
Yeah, yeah. Like for example, they switched only when somebody picked certain characters, so they don't know all the matchups.
Yeah.
Okay, so mechanics starts with a round win here, and let's see. We got 3 more characters left. This is Mechanics' character. Sava. And Polar gets Jendrik. Sava versus Jendrik, and Barabash is the last one, which depends. Barabash can be Polar Grid's character if the fight goes into the 3rd round, or it's going to be my character for the next one.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So Sava versus Jendrik. Swap sides, please. Wait, mechanics. Doesn't have YouTube, doesn't have challenge, doesn't have anything. Here we go. Okay, and the map is actually going to be stables, and it's kind of funny because we had stables on Tuesday, and it was actually the Jendrik themed event.
Yeah.
Good start here from mechanics.
Yeah, bit of an exchange. This is a matchup Sava can manage, I would say. It's just distance management. Like, he can hit through Jendrik's guard, no problem. He's at least a decent zoner, so he can play that game with Jendrik as well. But by the same token, Jendrik can blast through his guard just like anyone else, so it could go either way.
Oh, it goes with
A feint there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and this is what Jendrik can do. So Jendrik can actually, if you're just throwing some attacks like Polar is doing right now, he can very well just go through the guard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Actually, mechanics trusted his guard there, which was interesting. He trusted his guard and then immediately went for a riposte.
Yeah, I don't think he's
nice.
playing this matchup, any differently than how he would normally do it if he was fighting just another Saber or something.
Oh, caught him there.
Nice. Yeah, that retreat shot there is actually pretty fierce, but you can see that Sava is able to contest the reach of it, so you do have to be careful.
Oh,
Nice, going low this time. That one goes really far. A lot of low attacks in this game, just because of simple physics, they don't reach as far as I say a cut to the head. But
Nice. And
what
Grid,
Jendrik does, he swings one-handed, so he gets more reach.
Grid actually takes the lead here. 3 consecutive flags scored. Mechanics a little bit on the back foot, waiting for the opportunity to strike. Look at that head bop. Oh, and again,
Yes.
that long snap cut, which I don't find as a very good move, looks like it works really well here. High five.
Yeah, it's a good ranging tool in a matchup where you're basically guaranteed to land
Oh,
it
and
if
again.
you get the spacing.
One more needed for Mechanics, and
Oh,
there you go. He
nice.
gets it, and Mechanics wins 2-0. Congratulations. Polar with very good performances in both matches, but Mechanics moves on and will be facing Platy a little bit later. Now we are back to my fight against Oak, which is, as always, a very difficult fight. And I already know the character that I'll be using in this round, which is Bara. I can't really complain, as you said earlier, as good as it gets.
Yeah.
But there are some interesting aspects to this because now we're going to reset the roster. And I will explain. First of all, if the wheel ends up on Bara again for Oak, Bara will not be able to use Oak. Oak will not be able to use Bara, sorry.
Yeah.
He will need to use a different character. In the next rounds that we're gonna play, if the wheel lands on Bara, Oak can use Bara, but I cannot use him anymore because I used him here.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Oak cannot get Bara now, but he could get it in the next round, but I can't get him again.
Right.
So let's put the characters back in first. Let me go on the wiki. Make sure I don't miss anybody. There are 19 in total. I was under the impression that there are 18 characters, but there are 19 actually. Okay, so Bara, Yendrik, Sam, Kalk, Isabella, Gedon, Jan. Bara is already here. Marie, Laszlo, Alex Martazera, Sava Tarna Jacek, Hasan Marina Jakub, and Connor. So that should be 19. One last check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, good. Let's see Oak's character for this one. Let's shuffle it a little bit. As I said, if it lands on Bara, we're going to do another shuffle. Wow, he gets Sam again. He gets
Nice.
Sam again. Yeah, this can happen. This can happen. He gets Sam, so this is going to be a very interesting first round. Let's get Oak in. Honestly, one of the bad matchups that Bara has. Initially, I wanted to make it in such a way that people can't play the same character multiple times, but that is just way too much micromanagement, and
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
even sure that it works. Like we can actually we can actually do all the combinations without having somebody repeat the character. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What's important is that the same character is not played in the same match. That is what's
Yeah.
what's important.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, here we go. I am on the left. Oak is on the right. And the map is a village.
Yeah, so in this case, I would say neither fighter's really out of their element. We've seen Oak play Sam. Obviously, Venator plays a really good bar as well. So this is going to be a bloodbath. It's just a matter of small details, I think. It's basically just like a regular tournament almost. Only you probably wouldn't expect Oak to play Sam by choice. He'd probably play Yazuk instead, but if he was forced to, like, he could definitely put on a good show of Sam. Great tactical fight so far. Venator smart, by the way, going with the snap cut to harass a little bit. It's a much safer alternative to simply throwing a Y cut. Doesn't mean you should do it all the time, of course. That does have drawbacks, but I think it just as a quick harassing move to try and catch Samuel out, it's a nice try. Taking some hits there, though. Oak seeming to win this exchange so far. And yeah, the back Y instantly. Nicely done by Oak. That is one thing that Bar will have to watch out for. Of course, he does have a back Y of his own, as we did see from Venator there, but I think it is probably fair to say that Samuel's is probably a little bit better. It's just a lot more efficient. Nice sidestep, actually, by Oak to the leg. That's a unique property that Sam has, is not only can he sidestep pretty well, but he can also go to the leg, which is something that Barbash, I mean, he can do if his one leg cut, but he doesn't move as laterally when he does it. So even though he technically also has a sidestep to the leg, it doesn't really feel like a sidestep, I would say. It feels more like just a standard leg attack. But Samuel actually moves laterally when he does it. Barra can contest it though, if he spaces himself right, as we're seeing from Venator. But it's tough to get in, especially against a really solid Sam like this. It's a winnable matchup, but as Venator said, I do think Sam presents quite a bit of problems. Double. Chop attempt. It's a good move in this matchup as well. It's just, if a Sam player is solid, it probably will not land. But it's a nice way to test the guard, see what the Samuel player is gonna do, punish some attacks as well, especially if he overextends, but you gotta be careful throwing it all the time sometimes, because Sam's single tempos are also really good, not just his parry riposte gameplay. I think Barra often wants to draw him into an exchange, and if the Barra player is precise, that's where he can win. But if Samuel has a way to shut Barabash down right away, then that's where trouble starts. Nice feints by both of them. Neither fighter really biting though. But this is what you see a lot in high level Hellish Quart play. Oak is really looking for Venator to overextend and then get that quick snap cut to the hand. It isn't quite happening. Venator is really tightened his gameplay. And the camera, there we go. There's a good example of Barabash's back Y. It's also really good. A bit slower than Sam's, but it basically functions in a similar way. You can catch Samuel out with it as well. And I know there's a lot of discussions about, his back Y overpowered. I think the big problem with it is just the spammability. I think if you set up a shot with it, and your opponent makes a mistake, then I think it's largely fine. You just want to balance the recovery. You don't want to just be able to have people back Y out of everything as a sort of fail-safe either, I think. And there should be ways to punish it if a player is sort of throwing it absent-mindedly. But we're not gonna discuss that here. Both players employing it well and playing very skillfully, regardless of that. And Venator's actually making a nice comeback. Oak with a lot of big cuts there, trying to get that stamina down, which is a very valid idea. That's actually how most people get tired at top level, is because they've taken hits previously, and that lowers your stamina pool. And so Oak is trying to harass Venator from distance, and eventually maybe something will slip in. Venator saves it with the sidestep, though. It is a double, but at least the HP is reset. Still, it becomes a very grindy fight for Venator if that keeps happening. And there was a small punish window potentially there, but of course Oak was prepared and he did a back X, which was a really nice continuation. So it's actually a very good thing that Venator, I think, didn't bite. When he's doing a taunt there, I think he got blade beat out of the taunt, which was interesting. He was a little too far to be hit. Ooh, and yeah, sometimes those lunges don't quite get the kill if you're a little bit too close, especially if you're gonna get hit in the head. So nice by Venator. Sort of threw a shot out there, and it was actually the right time. And I like that he changed angles too. He's not throwing a lot of the X cut, but at that moment it was actually the perfect angle, I would say. Oh, looking for that sidestep. I like that they're both playing laterally, not just linearly. And you can see Venator employing those taunts, and again, the chop, a nice way to harass Samuel a little bit there. Get a quick hit, and the snap cut, I don't think Venator quite expected a blade beat though. It was sort of a preemptive move, I think. So he didn't quite punish that. Although the punish window was probably short, to be fair. Because I think Oak was, when he saw the blade beat, he was probably trying to prep a back Y. So, by the same token, maybe it was better that Venator didn't pursue that. It's tough to say, but he got the flag anyway after a push attempt. Really enjoying this saber fight. Lots of back and forth. Nice feints, dashes. We're seeing a bit of everything from both characters here. Oak obviously just not employing the feints. The feints are kind of niche. I don't blame him. And nice, he wins the trade there.
Wow. I haven't had my hands sweating for a very long time. This was a very sweaty fight because I really wanted to make this work. I knew that this is, I wouldn't say like it's a very bad match or anything, but it felt very difficult. But I managed to find some ways to crack the defense. 1-0 for me, but it's not over. Let's see what we get in the next round. Surprisingly, some of those taunts worked pretty well. Not only with hits, but also with kind of messing around with his guard a little bit.
Yeah. It kind of puts him on the back foot, whether he likes it or not.
Okay. This is Oak's character. Marina. He got the same characters as last time. Wow. This wheel is crazy.
And yeah, it's after shuffles too, so we can be sure it is random. And I know there were some conspiracy theories before, but the shuffle does negate any of that. But Oak still got really lucky.
Let's see what I get.
Venator almost wishing perhaps that he had Barbash at this moment, but that can't happen now. So let's see. There's other characters who can work here.
Okay, this is an interesting
okay.
match. Don't know exactly what to make of it. I would have preferred a saber, but it is what it is. I think there is something that we can do.
Yeah. I've been labbing Calc, like I've said, been doing pretty well with him, but this is a matchup that can be very tough.
Okay,
but,
this is the map.
As usual, Venator should approach it with an open mind, try some stuff, you know, just play the game.
Yeah.
And aim for openings. I'm sure there's ways. Nice. Yeah, the A cover is a really intelligent idea. Obviously, the issue that Cal can run into is that Marina can close the distance really quickly. The push is also probably a good idea. Oak knows it though, so it might not be so easy to force it. Nice, wow. The Inquartada to the face. And usually stabs are discouraged against the shield characters, but I think the fact that he sidestepped really helped him there. And obviously he was looking for a push or a stab, something like this, but Oak was ready. It's really tough to trick somebody like Oak with sudden dash-ins. He's basically used to it with his muscle memory with Connor, so you can more or less apply it with Marina. It's not quite as fast, but woo, and yeah, the backdash I think might have saved him. It is unfortunate though, as it looked like Venator got it, but Oak was ready with the backdash, and really having to force that sidestep to get past the guard, but Venator's doing the right thing here. I'm really impressed so far. There are some other ideas that I have, but I won't mention them here. It's up for Venator to sink or swim here. This time he does land it. I don't think Oak was quite ready to backdash out of it this time. Tough to say. But Venator was precise with his follow-up. And the sidestep again. And usually with this particular sidestep, Calc doesn't move as much as you might be hoping, but what Venator is often doing is he's actually dashing to the side first, is what it looks like, to make sure he gets that angle. And that allows him to hit the hand. By the same token, of course, if you're dashing, your move is going to be slower because you're first dashing and then you're recovering into the attack. But I think the risk is often worth it if you time it correctly. Going for the push again, Oak isn't afraid to just go in and cut. Push attempt again, but again, I'm trying to force it. I thought he hit that, to be honest, but he didn't. And now Calc is tired. These sorts of brawls can go very badly for Calc because of his stamina. That is one major weakness he does have, is the stamina management. If you start taking hits especially, it will drop. Now, we're on retro mode, so you gotta keep in mind the stamina pool is better than usual. But I'd say it's still, if you're playing Calc compared to other characters, I still think you'll feel it more, the stamina deficit. Especially if you start taking hits, that's where you're really gonna start getting tired. I like that combination Oak, or not Oak, Venator is trying. Used to Oak playing Calc. That's the other thing, Oak actually knows this character super well, but I think Venator is doing some stuff that maybe Oak isn't quite expecting. But they all make sense in the matchup, so you know, just using the principles of the game that he knows to convert into an advantage. Very impressive display there by Venator.
Man, I haven't played Calc in so long, I couldn't remember anything. Like, luckily I remember that, I mean, I didn't remember. It was like, I thought, okay, I need to do some side steps, and luckily the say cut was good, but I just, apart from the BX into back X, and yeah, like the push follow-ups, for example, I was just kind of pressing Y and X hoping that they would land, and
Yeah,
luckily they did. Great fights, great fights. Actually,
nicely done.
I was kind of looking for this feeling for some time, and it looks like this tournament is bringing it back. Like the feeling where it's everything is uncertain, and you really have to think about what you're gonna do next and how you're gonna play it. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, Oak is in the lower bracket. I'm pretty sure he's going to do really well over there. And we are moving to the lower bracket for now, because we want you know, people who maybe have something else to do to do their fights and to see if they can continue in the tournament. And the first one that we're going to do is Polar Grid versus Info. There he is. Oh, and we're also gonna fight, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be interesting. Okay. This is a best of one, so whatever you get, and you have to make it work. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna shuffle, and Mr. Polar Grid will be getting Isabella, and the Grid can actually play Isabella a little bit. I've seen him switch to her every now and then. Maybe not good news for Info here. I mean, it's not good news for anybody. Isabella is one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest. And we get the Geddy from Info. I say if played right, this is a winnable matchup. If played wrong, it goes really bad. There is Info. So Grid using Isabella. This is best of one. Grid using Isabella. Info using Gedeon. Grid left side. Info right side. Geddy. Yeah. Let's see if she goes with the bastard son. Geddy's bastard son. Yeah. And the map. Oh, and the map is a town map, which could potentially be, I wouldn't say advantageous, but it would make it for a fight here, because one of Geddy's biggest problems is actually closing distance. He doesn't have a very long dash. He does have good walking speed, but yeah. But with some good pressure and good timing, Isabella can find herself in trouble. I'll be right back.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm just looking at my phone and doing some stuff. Info with Gideon. Grid with Isabella. This is a matchup we've seen a lot of over the years. And believe it or not, we've actually seen Gideon do pretty well here. In the hands of somebody who's skilled. It might not be so straightforward for most people to make this matchup work. But there are ways that Gideon can definitely get an advantage here. It's not so cut and dry as people might like to think it is. Nice, cutting the thrust there as Info is tired, plus left foot forward. Very high chance the stab would connect. The thing that might have gone wrong there is if Gideon somehow found a way to hit the head, but I don't think the risk was that high there. eventually does take it. No surprise, Grid obviously having experience with Isabella, but a nice try by Info.
I am back. Sorry for missing the fight. Subu, you here?
All good. Yep, I'm here. Grid took the win.
Let's see. What was the score? 7-4. Yes, 7-4, because this will matter for the. As you probably know, in my tournaments, I have this rule on who takes what side based on the number of flags, and well, in this situation it would not matter much because Rats was able to get one set win, so Rats will still be left. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's do fight number 7 between Brim and Oak. Brim is gonna be left, and Oak is gonna be right. Oak in a pretty interesting position here because this is a best of one. Anything can happen. You can get a matchup that is not necessarily the best, but at the same time, Oak can pretty much play anybody. So I still favor him regardless of what happens. But again, this is where it gets very dangerous. Brim also a little bit unlucky with the matchups here. First he met you. Now he's gonna meet Oak. Let's see what characters they get first. Okay, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Brim gets. Brim gets Connor again. This is crazy. He got the Connor. Good pick though, but yeah, this could happen.
Okay.
Okay, and Oak gets. Well, he can't get the same characters again. That's for sure. He gets Alex. It was very close to getting Hassan, which would have changed things quite significantly, I would say.
Yeah.
But he gets Alex, and if there's one character that Connor is really afraid of, that is Alex.
And Oak knows it. Oak hopefully knows the way to use the moves that will win this matchup.
He knows
That's the only thing, but I bet you he knows the moves. He's probably
he knows it
experimented.
firsthand. That's the thing. If there's
Yeah.
anybody who knows this, it's him. But you know, a fight is a fight. It's one round. Anything can happen. Connor is
Yep.
definitely a character that can, because there are a few things that Dennis can do, but at the same time, if you're not doing it with the correct timing, or if the other guy is just apprehensive, it's you know, it's
Yeah.
could go wrong.
With this as well, you can accidentally throw the wrong move if the wrong foot is forward in some situations. So that's another thing that Oak would have to keep in mind. So there's definitely ways for it to go wrong, I would say.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sure, sure. Okay, waiting for Brim to join in. If not, we can do Rats versus Grid, but let's wait one more minute. People not being here also kind of it somehow messes up with the order of things. But at the same time, it's random, so people will get the characters that they get. But it would be ideal if we do these fights in order, so it doesn't change too much how things go. Yeah, Brim is not here. Let's do another fight. We're gonna do Rats versus Polar Grid. And let's see their characters. Rats gets Rats
Back.
gets Laszlo, and she can actually play Laszlo. And Polar Grid gets Jendrik, and I think he got Jendrik before. Yes. Yeah, it is what it is. The wheel can't know who got what, so it is quite likely for these things to happen. I would say this is a very interesting matchup. There we go. Rats on the left, Grid Square on the right. And let's see what map we're gonna play. I think it's gonna be the river map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I love this matchup.
Yeah, so the last one was town map, so it's river next. Yes. Here we go.
Ooh, both trying to zone each other a little bit there, but Jendrik gets the reach advantage there. Nice. Yeah, I love that retreat. Why?
Oh, nice. And Polar Grid wasn't able to win the round earlier using Jendrik, but he was actually very competitive with him and managed to get a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of good stuff. And I say Jendrik's trap is that it kind of leads into a false sense of security where you're thinking, oh, if I throw this, I'm gonna land it. And all of a sudden he blocks it, or he throws something faster, and you
Mm-hmm.
find yourself in a situation where you don't know if you should commit or not.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you can't really play patiently or even passively because he has the ability to go through a guard.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a combination between being attentive but also not
Mm-hmm.
overthinking stuff. That's kind of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the number one trap people fall into. I think it's overthinking it. Like when I play Barbash against Yendrik, I don't
nice.
do anything complicated. I just play a regular aggressive saber game, and I make sure he doesn't get room to breathe. Yeah, nice.
5 to 2.
Dangerous game by both there.
Oh,
There's an interesting interaction, but yeah, the attack was in time, so it is a double. Oof. Bit of an exchange there. One thing that is worth mentioning is if you're actively defending yourself with cuts, you actually have a higher chance of stopping the
oh,
axe.
nice. Yeah,
Obviously, that only goes so far, but if your blade is colliding with the axe, you have a much higher chance of coming out of it unscathed. It kind of goes for Yendrik as well, though. He can catch you off guard with these sort of single tempo attacks, so it goes both ways to a degree. Dangerous spot to be
nice.
there for Laszlo. Yeah. I like the aggression all the same, being up flags and whatnot, not overthinking it. Ooh, the
Oh,
stab
and he
was a
gets
little
another
bit
one.
slow, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Grid has nothing to lose at this point. Is close to
Nice.
elimination, so he needs to make something work here.
Oh, that was...
Oh,
Okay, he keeps going.
oh, and
There we
he
go. I
actually
think he
gets it.
deserved it.
Yeah, and
That's good.
that's three
Yeah.
flags in a row, so the momentum is on his side, and this got
Yeah.
really interesting here. And
Yeah.
as I always
Perfect
say
usage.
in every
Hmm.
tournament, this is where things always get very the high the high ground. Oh,
Oh, oh.
it was a
Lag.
problem. Okay, move back,
Yeah.
please. Um, I wanted to say that. Okay, I'm just gonna pause and just continue when you're good to go, Rats. Just flick the long guard.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this is the moment when panic settles in, when you have like a good lead, and then all of a sudden the
Hmm.
opponent is 2 flags away from winning
Yeah.
the 6 to 5. This is a very cursed score.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it now. Ryder's like a little bit more
Oh,
patient, I would say.
oh,
Oh,
got
nice
it.
though.
The second attack was blocked, but the third got it. It's 7 to 5. Beautiful fight. Congratulations to Grid for making it this far. Congratulations to Rats as well for moving on in the tournament. 7 to 5. And let's see if we can get his Brim around. Okay, I guess we can do. We're gonna we're gonna give him one more one more match, which is going to be the best of 3 between me and you. If it doesn't show up by then that's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, we're in round 3 here. In the winner's bracket, it's gonna be a fight between me and Subu. Interesting as always, especially with different characters that can be played. Let's have a quick look on who we are going to get. So the first character is going to be mine. Hassan. I mean, he's alright, but I would have preferred somebody else. Okay, let's see what your character is going to be. Tarnavsky. Okay.
Okay.
It's an interesting fight. I would.
Yeah.
I would favor you in this one. Not only because of the characters, but also because you have dabbled a little bit in playing Tarna. But yeah, this is the challenge. This is the challenge of the tournament, and we'll see what happens. Can you press RT?
I cannot.
Oh, okay, we'll move back. Yeah, so we're back in the best of 3. Here we go. The last map was River, which means that we're playing here in the dungeon. It's a nice map. A little underplayed, I would say. And here we go. Yeah, the switch stance. The switch stance leaves him open. Oh, that was a nice exchange. Nice. That was a nice fight. A nice first round. Hassan a little faster.
Yeah, you used the speed really well there in the exchanges.
Yeah.
If you were able to weather the storm, it felt like you had the advantage because of that.
Yeah, I was thinking just to keep it simple and just go for regular saber exchanges and just try to use my speed.
Yeah.
Also, Tarna, I'm pretty sure you did that unintentionally. You were switching stances on certain attacks. But what I also
Mm-hmm.
noticed, if you allow me before we start the second round, was
Mm-hmm.
I was doing an attack, and when I tried to do my second attack, your second attack of the combo, because I always say that Tarna has a very fast follow up, was catching my arm, so it wasn't even a
Yeah.
double. The follow up
Yeah.
was doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a way to use those to your advantage, I think. A really good Tarna player could give Hassan some issues there.
Okay, let's see what character gets Subu gets now. Father Zera here for Subu. Very
Okay.
interesting. And for me, Jan. I can't say
Okay.
I'm upset with this, but I don't count my chickens here. I think it's gonna be a difficult fight. I don't recall Jan being a very good Zera killer, but we'll see what happens. But still, probably better than other characters. Okay, you start on the left. I am going to be on the right. And the map that we're going to use is this tavern one right here, which I also like. It's a pretty nice one. Ooh. Oh, glad I got that. Father Zera being sneaky as always. caught me with the back Y. Oh, not this time. Not this time. You tricked me a few times.
Yeah,
there.
good game. Yeah.
3 times I think you tricked me. And that's the
Yeah.
Sarah's whole shtick. But,
Yeah, setting up traps.
Yeah, that was a great match overall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure we're gonna meet again. Okay, I win this fight. Subu goes to the lower bracket where he will be facing Rats. But we'll see if in the meantime... Oh, okay. Okay, Brim is here. Didn't get pinged. You did get pinged. Brim. Okay, Brim. Left side. Oak, right side. Connor versus Dennis. Oh, you didn't get the sound. Okay. Sorry. Best of 1. Connor again, yes. After that, we're going to move on to Platy versus Mechanics, which I believe is going to be a really cool fight. Oak is here. Okay, we already know the characters, and I think the map is the flaming map. Brim, which people don't really like, but I think it's funny, and it makes for some interesting matchups. Let's see what happens. Brim left, Oak right.
Alright, let's see it.
And after that, we are back. Oh, the ladies screaming in terror. The castle is burning. 2 armed
Goes
men
low, nice.
fighting to the death. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I'm really curious how this will play out in the story, like what leads up to this.
Yeah. I wish all characters were involved in the story, but I'm pretty sure that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one thing that I don't necessarily like about the story mode. I like the voice acting. I like even the storyline, although simple, it's, you know, it works. Yeah, takes the leg there, Oak. I think fights should have been longer or more fighting, generally speaking. Like every fight is like 1 flag, 2 flags, 3 flags. There's like every player when they get into a game, the first thing that they're gonna do, they're gonna play the story mode, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna go into practice or whatever.
Yeah.
they get into story mode and they just don't get the chance to play much. Just a few flags here and there. And with the character that
Yeah.
I would say that at this moment is not very suitable for story mode. Like Jacek is a pretty complicated character.
Yeah.
I would have gone with, I don't know, Jan or Bara or something like that that can just teach you the basics of the game.
Yeah. Samuel as well is pretty good
Yeah, Sam, yeah.
character for that. Yeah.
Maybe the story will start with Sam. Nice thrust to the throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oak is just playing this by the book. To be fair, it's not... Oh, there you go, takes the leg again. 7-3. Thank you very much, Brim, for competing. Unfortunately, Oak knows how to play this matchup. And that is that. Brim was able to block the leg attack, but you have to stand still in order to block it. If you move, you get hit. And I know that it's not that easy to do, but it is something that you can employ in your gameplay. You know, just stand still, and you can counter it. Oak moves on to the next round, and now we're gonna see Platy and Mechanics in a best of 3. And I think this is a very interesting fight. Mechanics, the new school of players. Platy, somewhat in the old school, recently came back. I mean, I know he was playing in USFC, but he wasn't very active outside of it. Glad to see him in a tourney. Recently, he was talking about getting a colored name. He's very close to getting into the Hall of Fame, so maybe even today is going to be that day where he gets the gold. But we'll see. Right. So the first thing that we need to do is the characters. We don't have too many left. Platy's first character is Barabash. And Barabash is allowed here because the Barabash that I used was from the previous roster, in case anybody's wondering. So Barabash is usable. And Mechanics gets not a bunch of Marta. Interesting fight. I obviously favor Barabash here. But Marta has a lot of tricks under her sleeve, so let's see what happens. Platy's ready to go. Let's also get Mechanics in. Nah, rats. I don't agree. I think Jacek is complicated, and I don't think you need, as a new player, I don't think you need to learn all those things. Switch stances and all that. I think it's complicated. When you're a new player, you just need to know press Y to cut, press long guard to do a thrust or whatever, a special move. You know, stuff like that. There's Mechanics. Subu, you still here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking every now and then, just make sure that you're not muted or anything.
Yeah, all good.
All right. Platy on the left, Mechanics on the right. Oh, no, Isabella.
I do agree, by the way. Yazlik with the stance switching, like he's almost like two characters in one. When he switches stances, he like has a whole different set of moves.
Yeah, and
it's not that a new player can't play him, but it's a lot harder, I think, to get into.
Yeah, the cuts themselves are pretty complicated. It has so many combos and so many moves, and
yeah,
he's complicated. I mean, obviously, for
Yeah.
somebody who knows how to play the game, he's not complicated. But for somebody that is new, he's a lot
Yeah.
to digest.
Yeah. 100%. Now I haven't seen much Marta from mechanics, but he has played Marie, so he might be able to still show us some things. I like the side steps from mechanics. Nice.
Yeah. You know what? And when somebody is not playing a character at all and they don't know the move set, they might stick to somebody to something that they know that works well, and they just use that almost all the time. And funnily enough, that can make it a very difficult job for the other guy because you have to
Yeah.
figure things out around that move. And you have to use your experience, and easier said than done.
Yeah, what I will say about this matchup is I
Oh,
probably
nice.
would favor Barabash most of the time, but I actually think Marto's more of a threat to Barabash than say Marie is. I think to
Perfect.
beat Marie is very straightforward, but Marta has some tricks up her sleeve and sort of mismatched weapon fights that Marie doesn't have.
Yeah. Yeah, Mechanics is playing this perfectly. Is also landing perfect thrusts with the rapier is not an easy thing to do, but Mechanics is doing this perfectly. And I think that's generally oh, there you go again. That's
Yeah.
generally his strength. He's pretty patient. He has good range understanding.
hmm
Just probably lacks the experience, you know, to win tournaments more often. But here you go. That was a
Yeah.
flawless performance. So yeah, props to him. I did not expect that. If there's a character that Marta would have feared, that would have been Bara. Yeah, Mechanics takes the first round. And let's see what they get now. Bunch of characters left. Mechanics gets the other rapier, Marie, which he knows how to play, so I'm not sure he's too unhappy about it. And let's see what Platy gets here. He's probably hoping for Yatsik. The other two options are not looking that good. He's getting Jakub. I would say not really a good matchup here, but if he manages to push it to round 3, it's gonna be a Jacek Sava. We'll see who is Sava and who is Jacek, but those are the characters that are left. Anyway, swap size, please. Okay, Mechanics needs to know who they play. Marie for Mechanics, Jakub for Platy. Has Jakub won a fight in any tournament? I'm just asking.
Um, Not many.
Oh,
He's had some wins in the USFC, like individual
um,
rounds. That
that's
is.
not that's not
But I
sorry.
don't. I don't think he's won a full fight
Sorry for interrupting.
in the USFC.
That's
All good.
not the map. We're constantly switching maps.
Yeah. In tournaments, though, I'm not sure he has won a fight.
Yeah. I would say
Using the saber.
Platy might be better here, just sticking to the saber, and we say it every time.
Yeah.
Because I think small sword against Marie's rapier is just disadvantage written all over it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're not even better up close because Marie can cut you. Like
Yeah.
she has an edge she can just slash you open with, whereas the small sword doesn't have that. And if you're so close, your point doesn't work. And ironically, I think Marie has stuff like the Incortada to still stab you at that range, plus her jabs and stuff like that. Just a lot less, you know,
Nice.
a lot less can go wrong with Marie.
And you know what? A saber is a saber, which is if you're in close distance and you have a clear opening and you just press Y, then you get the kill. You know,
Yeah.
there's no complication to it. You know, it's just you're close, you have an opening, you press Y or X or whatever, and you get the kill. So that's one thing that I believe sabers have the advantage over rapiers, which is one-shotting potential.
Yeah.
Nice block
Nice
there.
usage of long guard there. Of course, the fact that he's limping is not very good,
Yeah.
but you can see here he is able to take hits and get away with some things at least. Dashing there, trying to get close. It's not always so simple, but that snap cut
Yeah.
that carries him forward, you don't usually throw that in a saber fight, but I think here it's actually a great move.
And you know what? Jakob is not. Oh, nice. Jakob is not Sam, but he has Sam's moveset, which means that he has a decent guard, a decent moveset, and things
Yeah.
that you can work with if you're patient enough.
Yeah. His push isn't bad either. It's basically
Oh,
Samuel's push, I
perfect.
believe. Nice.
Yeah, that's actually a good example. Long guarded, the thrust, just waited, and looks like the Platty's making Jakob work here with the saber.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't just say this as somebody who hates small swords. I think just the way the game is right now, it's tough to make the small sword unique.
Yeah.
And so I think the small sword is just the worst rapier.
I feel like small sword is just something that you bring in whenever you have like the advantage, and maybe you also
Yeah.
landed like a graze, and you're just trying to give your opponent something else to think about. You know, just kind of
Yeah.
messing up with their rhythm. But otherwise, I don't see a reason why you would use it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the fight. Try to push there. Mechanics lands a good thrust. It's 5-4. Mechanics was able to gain some ground back.
Yeah.
Nice. Quick
Platypi has
thrust.
to be careful.
Yeah.
If you close the distance while holding long guard, you might not get a favorable bind. So the distance can start collapsing and you can get grazed.
Oh, nice push.
Which
Yeah,
I like.
and
nice.
Mechanics actually reacted well to it, but it wasn't enough to land the kill. And Platty has a
Oh,
good chance
nice.
to win it, but Mechanics with the surprise attack here.
Yeah. You don't usually throw that move naked, but in this case, I don't think Platypi was expecting it, so it's a great way to get momentum back. Sometimes you gotta do that. You just throw that haymaker that maybe in most situations it wouldn't work, but
Oh,
in a it
caught
might
him.
work like this. Nice.
Caught him. Yeah, well played by Mechanics. Well rapier gameplay against two sabers, and we have to give him his flowers because he also came back in this fight. And Mechanics is already in the semi-final, which means that he has a guaranteed top 3 spot. Platty will be facing Oak very soon. But the first fight that we're going to see is Rats versus Subu. Rats being on the left, Subu on the right. And we already know the characters. Sava and Jacek, but we don't know who gets who. So let's see. I'm pretty sure you're hoping for Yahtzee, right? In this matchup.
Probably, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, but like you said, a saber's a saber, so I won't overthink it if I get Sava either.
Yeah. Okay, so this next character is going to be Ratz's character.
Okay.
Yes, Ratz gets Sava. Sorry, Jacek. and you
Okay.
get Sava. So a little bit of an uphill battle here for you. But yeah, this is what this tournament is about, overcoming situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Rats has been playing a little bit of Yatsik. But also, interestingly enough, Rats also got Yatsik earlier against Platy's Getty and lost. See what happens here. Okay. Not much thinking here. Rats on the left, Subu on the right. Yatsik versus Sava. And the map that we're using is this one right here. I don't remember the name. Scaffold, I think. Here we go. Best of 1, 7 flags. Winner moves on, loser is eliminated. Cut into thrust. That's a double. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Subu is going to just use Saber fundamentals here. He's not going to go into risky techniques with the dagger, I believe. Maybe he's going to use it, but I'm pretty sure he's just going to stick with using the Saber. And just playing fundamentals, and that's the sensible choice here. One Subu gets a flag back, and this is something that you learn by fighting Subu, which is he's very good at. So if you're trying to rush him, he's going to take the flag from you every single time. Also, if you land a graze on him and you immediately try to finish, of course, if you have a clear opening, it's gonna work, but he's gonna get a double or maybe even steal the flag from you. So these are things that you learn only by understanding the player. 3-1 here. That was a nice follow-up there by Rats. Subu a little bit behind. Oh, and that was a nice side step with the upcut. 4-1. Let's see how Subu will adjust here. He's patient, but he's also keeping his range well. That's another forward cut, and it looks like Rats is beating him to the punch here. Double. I think Subu needs 1 or 2 flags here to get his confidence back here in this fight. The next 2 flags are going to be crucial. There you go, Subu gets 1 back. A little nervous, drops the dagger there. Maybe this could be the moment where Subu's doing something tricky and uses the dagger, but at the same time Rats is looking very attentive to what Subu is doing. He's not taking the fight for granted, even though she has a good advantage. Yep, it's a nice retreat attack. 6-2, dropping the dagger again. Do or die here for Subu. I think Sava would definitely benefit from more damage from his attacks because he's a sniper, and the sniper characters need damage. Oh, goes with the toe thrust. Subu saves the double. Oh, that's a nice cut to the head. And Subu gets another flag here. It's 6-3. A mountain to climb here, but I've seen Subu doing this before. At the same time, it kind of requires to get the other player into a false sense of security, and there you go. And Subu is 3 flags away from winning and 1 from losing, and this is where he gets into his second phase. And it's a double, saves the double last second. Double. Oh, and a nice retreat attack. 7-4. Rats wins. Decent performance here from Subu, but unfortunately didn't go his way here. And that is the way of the wheel. And Rats moves on to the semi-final. Subu, congratulations for your run. Didn't go your way, but still a good display there with Sava.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's down to responsiveness. There were times where Sava sort of got held up. Like he does one attack and he gets held up.
Yeah.
But Yazik will always be faster on the follow-up. So I think that's what it more or less came down to. But it was still a really fun fight and good game to my opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to be expected. Here we go. Now we see Oak versus Platy. Oak is going to be left. Platy is going to be right side. And our characters are what's the word? They're all gone. Yeah, and we need to reset the roster. Let's see again. So Jendrik, Sam, Kalk. Actually, let me take it from the corner here. Just give me a second. Sanya Citarna. Sava Zera Marta. Denis Laszlo Marie. Barayan Gedi. Isabella. Samuel and Jendrik. Let me quickly check if we have all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 19. Okay. Good. Oak is on the left, Platy is on the right. We are going to see which characters they are going to get. First character is going to be Oaks. Oak actually gets Connor. He fought against Connor, but now he gets him, and Platy will need a very good character here because Oak knows how to play Connor really well. I would say Oak actually had some pretty favorable draws here. Maybe not like the best characters ever, but some characters that he knows how to play. And Platy's going to play Kalk. And I'd say if there's a character that Connor can do really well against, that is Kalk. Just in my experience. But anything can happen. We've seen earlier Oak using a shield character against Kalk and losing. We'll see if this happens here. Let me send the link again. So Oak is left side using Connor versus Platy Kalk. Subu, you here?
Yep.
Do you mind taking over this one? I just need to
Yeah,
go to the bathroom
for sure.
and all that. Right. So let's see. This is a best of one. So winner moves on to the semi-final. Loser. There we go. The last map that we used was this one, so we're going to Armory.
Alec against Connor.
Be right back.
Okay. Again, Calc, I think, against Shields can run into issues, but there's no reason to assume this matchup's unwinnable. I think the biggest problem for Platypie is just that Oak is a master level Connor player, so he'll have to get creative to surprise Oak. Because Oak is also familiar with Calc, it'll be hard to surprise him, but you should see what he attempts. Push, great try, but Oak knows how to backdash out of the push, and Connor is actually particularly good with that. So this isn't to say that pushing is impossible, but it's gonna be very difficult to pull off. The intention is correct, though. Big splashes there. And the side steps, nice. Getting at Calc's opening there. If you aim to his non-sword side, that's where you're most likely going to hit him. That kind of goes without saying. And they both sort of push or punch each other, which was interesting. A really interesting interaction, but nobody came out of it better, I would say. And that sweeping cut that Oak throws, it's obviously risky, but I think he did it at a really awkward time for Platypie, so he was hit. And now his mobility is very limited, which against a shield character is not what you want. And the sidestep is attempted. I think it was a smart idea, but for some reason it missed. No, nothing wrong with what he tried there, though. I think in a perfect world, maybe that would have worked, but Oak was ready to kill him regardless, or it might have been a double anyway. Push attempt, yeah, and Connor is the fastest out of all characters for backdashing out of pushes, so you can see how Oak, I don't know if he did it preemptively or if he reacted right away, but either way, now Connor is super fast at getting out. Yeah, so you need, it's not the, again, like I was saying, pushing's not impossible, but you have to be super precise with your follow-up. It has to be instant. Against Connor. And yeah, little snap cut there, aiming upward. very fast move. And again, the sidestep. Oak is very good at landing that. A lot of people struggle to use it, me included, but Oak has figured out the secret sauce for that move, so he has no trouble. Dash in attempt. Platypi still making it a fight. And again, you can see Oak is even able to backdash out of the stab this time. So even if you're immediate with your push, it might not be enough. That's what it looks like. And I imagine a lot of the time Oak is sort of preemptively backdashing. He senses danger and it's just he's out of there. Maybe the first time it worked, he didn't quite do that and tried to react instead, so it worked. And plus Platypi was closer. But regardless, Oak got a pretty significant advantage, so eventually he does convert to a win. But a great effort by Platypi. I think that is a rough matchup for Calc. Again, it's not unwinnable. I've seen Calc do it before, but you're basically hoping for Connor to overextend so you can get a blade beat and then immediately follow up that blade beat a lot of the time. I think the pushes were a good try, but I don't think against Oak they work particularly well. And next in the losers bracket, Radzik will fight Oak. We might have Venator fight Mechanics though, depends on what Venator wants to do. So everybody should be prepared to fight anytime as we are nearing the end of the tournament and we are officially in the semifinals.
Okay, I am back. Looks like the fight is over.
Yeah, and Oak won it 7-3.
7-3. Platty, thank you very much for competing. And we're actually gonna do the semi-final between Oak and Rats. Oak is also gonna be again on the left and Radzik on the right. So we don't keep people waiting if they don't move to the next round. And yeah, we got 4 people left in the tournament, and whoever wins this fight has a guaranteed top 3 spot and the possibility to continue in the tournament. And I would say compared to a traditional tournament, this is a lot easier to come back and actually win the tournament, because maybe you get a bunch of good matchups and you can win the tournament compared to fighting people on their mains. So yeah, Rats is going to be right side. Yeah, I was expecting, to be honest, somebody like Rats or maybe even Platty to get very far. They seem to be players that can adapt pretty well. What we need to know now is what are the characters that these two are going to use. Okay, we're gonna shuffle a little bit, and this is Oak's character. Sava. And Sava can be used because we reset the resetted. It's irregular, right? Reset verb. We reset the bracket, so it's Sava for Jacek for Radzik. So Radzik actually gets Jacek again. This is the third time she gets Jacek, but I'm pretty sure she's not too unhappy about it. We reset the bracket, so the thing. So yeah, basically the same matchup for Rats here. And let's see if Oak is able to overcome this. Right away.
Oh yeah, I hate that so much. Sometimes your cursor is on the correct one, but then I think it's just a little bit of sloppy coding on Kubo's part that leads to stuff like that.
Okay, so the last map was Armory, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Church now. Here we go.
Yeah, I won't sugarcoat it. This is a tough matchup. It's winnable though. I mean, I think I pretty much confirmed that. It's just you have to be very precise with Saba, and the fact is Yazuk is way more responsive, so you don't want to get into situations where he can outspeed you or out-combo you.
Yeah. Oak has played a little bit of Saba. You main him for a little bit. He understands the fundamentals. But at the same time, oh, that was the dagger kill. At the same time, I believe Rats understood the assignment the first time when she fought you, and knew exactly how to play it, not get comfortable, and just play to Jacek's strengths. And she will play this the same way, trying to use Jacek's speed and his ability to riposte.
Oh yeah.
And Oak is going to try to use the range, but at the same time, Oak, although he knows how to play the range game well, he likes to get in there. He likes to get in there and just start swinging and.
I do like that he's trying to use the dagger. I don't know if it works though. There's a reason why I wasn't using it, and that's because I thought Yazuk could just cut me every time. And I still applaud him for getting that dagger hit earlier, but I don't know. Maybe there's a way to make it work, but I don't really see it for the most part. Yazuk can just let it whip. I think you have to out-saber him somehow, but that's a tough assignment. As well.
I feel like probably the best option. Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Sava does have a pretty long saber compared to Jacek's, and I think just sitting right at the edge where you can just kind of touch him a little bit with your saber is the best way to go at it.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be pretty grindy, and you'd have to keep your composure.
Yeah, and the distance can collapse really quickly, especially if you yourself throw swings. Now suddenly your hand can be in range for Yazuk, even though you have the range advantage. You're basically giving him some targets to hit. But you don't want to be passive either. If you let Yazuk walk all over you, it's messy at best, as we're seeing here. Although, they're both tired. That's not good. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, that thing that I'm not really a fan of, which is you land a hit and then you immediately go for the follow-up of the combo, and it's kind of the guard gets in the way.
Sidestep the dagger. Yeah, the dagger tracking just not very good. It's actually very simple to avoid. And again, Oak is doing his best here. I think it's just the tools that he has. Suboptimal. Nice.
And that's it. Yeah. Rats making Jacek work against Sava. And 72. Um, it was pretty clear, like even before this tournament, we do not claim that character matchups do not exist. Of course they
Mm-hmm.
exist, and of course it's gonna be pretty difficult to overcome a matchup that is not in your favor. Okay, so Rats has secured qualification into the lower bracket final, and now we're going to see the semi-final between me and Mechanics. I would say that if you look at the players that are left in this tournament, all three players are top 5 players from last month. So somehow the recent activity and the skill prevailed even in this sort of setting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's me versus Mechanics. The roster will not be reset anymore because we have plenty of characters for the rest of the tournament. We're going to shuffle a
Mm-hmm.
little bit and let's see what is the character that I'm going to get. I'm getting Marta. Mechanics made a very good play of Marta earlier. And Mechanics is getting Father Zera. Yeah, this is tough, winnable, but tough mostly because Mechanics knows how to play Zera pretty well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm not a huge fan of getting Marta in these random tournaments. Although once she did get me the win in
Yeah.
it was actually in a final against you. I remember it, and you were Sam, and it was fought until the last flag, and I don't know how I got it, but I got it. But yeah, we'll see. Gotta make it work. And the map, I believe it's actually the galley map, so it's very interesting. Is it? Yeah.
All right. I think there's a path for either character to win this, but if you're not experienced with Marta or you don't like playing Marta, I think Zera would be really intimidating to fight against. Now, the other interesting thing as well is that we're on a very linear sort of map. On the one hand, it means there's not as much sidestepping
Hell, not a boat.
for either of them.
Okay.
So on the other hand,
Yeah, so sidestep
can't-
worked there. Didn't get the kill, but landed a hit.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can see here, you can still sidestep. It's just that you can't get as deep of an angle as you might normally expect. Yeah. So like here, Marta possibly could have spammed it if there was a more open map, but in this case, I'm not sure. The dash. No kills. Oh, Mechanics just plunges the point and doesn't think about it. That's what you should do. That's what Zera needs to do. He needs to dominate space. Yeah, those thrusts are fearsome, and not being able to sidestep, I think, makes Venator's life harder. There might be some things you can do with distance moving back and forth, but by the same token, I think mechanics can also play into that. Yeah, with stuff like the Holy Stance.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Move there.
I feel like the first 2 flags maybe it could have got there the kill, but after that it
Nice back Y.
didn't work well. We'll see.
Nice thrust there. That's a really effective tool here, especially without the ability to... Because, again, Marta can sidestep, but can she sidestep enough to dodge it? That's the question.
Yeah,
Oh,
GG.
just whirling that sword around. That's it.
Alright, so Mechanics takes the first one. Hopefully, we're gonna get something a little bit better in the next one.
Be right back.
Sure. Alright. So Mechanics gets Hassan. And I get Laszlo. Okay, this is a fun fight. Hassan versus Laszlo. Let me tell Mechanics as well. Alright, let's swap sides. Oh, I think I need to change the... No, it's already changed. Let's go with the red boots. Okay, so this was the map. So it's wine cellar now. Here we go. Oh, I lost that trade.
Okay, I'm back. Laszlo against Hassan. This is a really cool matchup. Venator a little bit behind, but now it's not really clear. I don't think that Mechanics actually has an advantage anymore, so it's good for Venator. nice by Venator. It almost looked like Mechanics had an opening, but Venator was sort of like buffering his inputs there, and it went in his favor. And the taunt this time, Mechanics, I think he tried to go for a stab, but even if it landed properly, I don't think it would have been enough. So he was just wide open. The back Y there as Mechanics moves in, which I think was a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, nice taunt again. Kind of like how Laszlo does it too. Kind of sticks his leg out. Like he's gonna take a step or something. Flash of swords there. And Venator back against the wall, actually. Not a lot of space now, but there we go. There's the value of the back Y as an offensive combo as
GG.
much as it is sort of a
Yeah, the fight.
defensive maneuver.
The fight started. He had the really good timing there with Hassan, but I was able to. Yeah, the back Y combo actually worked pretty well because the second Y just lunges in, and that helps. It's 1-1 right now, and we're down to the last round. Let's see what are the characters that we're gonna get. This is my character. Barabash. Okay, that's good. Let's see who he gets. Isabella. Okay, this is fun. Here we go.
Okay. They sort of switched roles here. Mechanics could have, like, he sometimes plays Bara, so it's not hard to conceive of a regular tournament where he'd pick Bara, but he's having to use Isabella this time.
Yeah, difficult matchup. I can't say that
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
very used to play against Isabella without using Isabella, but there are a couple of things that can work pretty well. So let's see if we can
Yeah.
employ them here. Here you go.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Mechanics with a lot of retreat attacks out of the gate, trying to catch Venator moving in, using the reach of the longsword. Venator knows better than to bite. Mechanics just have to be careful, I think, throwing those constantly, because you're sort of giving up initiative if your opponent's not biting. And you could be opening yourself up. Yeah, Venator actually going a little bit bananas, but sometimes with Bara, this is actually a great idea. Especially if you try to get around the guard or punish Isabella. But this back Y actually is not too bad for Isabella. It's not as well known, of course, as Samuel's back Y, perhaps not as broken, but it is there. It is a move that can work. I would say it's not as spammable. That's probably the main difference. It's a move you can slip in, but not one you can just spam endlessly and get away with. But still good on Mechanics for employing that. The snap cuts as well to get control of the center are also very important. And actually this time the retreat leg attack, but yeah, Venator knows some ways to get around Isabella's guard, so Mechanics will have to be careful giving up so much ground. Yeah, I see what Mechanics is going for, a bunch of retreat attacks, but sort of gives up ground to Venator there, making for an easy hit to the head. It's almost what Venator wants. He kind of wants Mechanics to just throw attacks out there and whiff a bunch, because that gives Bara the chance to move in and force his attacks to land in turn. Obviously you don't want to be overzealous about punishing them. That's, like, Mechanics is obviously trying to draw Venator in, but there's definitely a window where.
Yeah. I mean, I was
Yeah,
limping.
Venator limping. Yeah, it's not easy when you're in that state. It's not easy. Sidestep. Great attempt there by Venator, but not able to reach the hand. And that actually can be a good way to counter the high guard, but it's all about reads at that point. It's difficult to obviously react as such, but if you can sense that Isabella is going to throw a high guard and you do that sidestep in time, you can dodge it. Nice, and there's actually a good usage of that leg cut, which is a sidestep as well. Again, it doesn't so much behave as one. That's a double, nice. Venator still getting the double, although it wasn't looking good for a moment there. Taunt. Yeah, Venator's looking to get a quick shot in there. Oh, and another one to the hand by Mechanics. Why Mechanics is able to interrupt it, but yeah.
Yeah, sometimes just going in and just throwing cuts works.
Yeah. Retreat stabs by Mechanics there, trying to keep range again. Some wide cuts here and there as well. Venator some feints. Oh, and the snap cut, it was a little bit too quick. But a nice try by Venator. Taunt attempt. Snap cut again. Yeah, and I like the taunt attempt by Mechanics actually. Although the taunt didn't work, he still basically got the better end of that flag. But Venator knows that basically getting in and brawling with Barabash, particularly with that YY, can be a good idea.
Yeah, you gotta go unga bunga against Isabella.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
otherwise
sometimes.
she controls the range. She controls the range.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem, of course, when we fight is you know that, so it's like it's difficult to land that. There's definitely ways to get it to land, but there's no tricking somebody that you know really well in this game. It becomes a grindy fight, a fun fight, but it's a game of chess at that point. But yeah, Venator's correct, all the same. You've got the shorter weapon. You're all about hacking and slashing, applying pressure. And that's what Bara has to do at some point. B-cut's actually a good choice as well in some situations. You can hit the hand with that. Don't want to use it too much though, because obviously if you are throwing an upcut, your head is exposed. That looks really strange, the stretchy arms there, but it is a double anyway. That is a classic Hellish Quart bug. It goes back pretty far. And Mechanics, I can see he's trying to kind of track the sidestep there. He's also been throwing the A-cut a lot in general. It looked weird, but Venator's hit was 100% legit. If it didn't stretch like that, he would have just hit his head. So it did look strange, but there was nothing wrong there. Just visually, it looked off. At that range, the YY is landing. And it's a tough fight for Venator. I gotta give Mechanics some credit, but oh, Venator really trying to force it. He actually does get it though. Mechanics is imprecise with the punishes there, so eventually just sheer aggression gets it.
You know what? That's the thing, and I'm not gonna make this a thing right now because I'm an Isabella main, but one thing is that Isabella controls the range and she has really good tools. But once you close in the range, there aren't too many things that she can hit you with.
Yeah.
So I was just patiently closing the range, blocking attacks, and just going wide to the head. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Like, it's not compared to some other characters that can reliably hit you from close range. Like that's the struggle, and that's the struggle against characters that are precise, like getting close without getting hit. Anyway, win here for me, 2-1. And I'm actually glad that I was able to win against Isabella because it's always a challenge. I can't lie, it was a difficult fight.
Yeah.
But it is winnable. It is fair, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mechanics is fighting Radzig now, and immediately after that, we're gonna have the grand final. Mechanics left side, Radzig right side. No more Yatsik for Radzig this time. Okay, Mechanics is here, Rats is joining. Okay, this is Mechanics' character. We don't have too many characters left. A lot of them are kind of subpar, to be honest. But we do still have some Sam, some Dennis. Oh, Jan. Jan for Mechanics. That's a good character right there. And Radzig gets Marie. Okay. Marie. And what we have left is Sam, Gedi, Jakub, Tarna, Marina, Dinis, and Jendrek. Some pretty uncomfortable characters for the grand final, I would say. But yeah, let's see Jan versus Marie. I would say that Marie can do pretty well against Jan. Although I would favor Jan. Jan does have some wind-ups and some opportunities for Marie to land her attack. Here we go.
Yeah, his title of best rapier is at least disputed here, I would say, with Marie's buff.
Mechanics is left side. Oh, wait. I need to inform. Mechanics left side and Radzig right side. Here we go. Okay, the map that we used was school, so the next one is stables.
Interesting. The game plan for Jan is, I think, pretty straightforward. Same with Marie.
Yeah.
It's just a question of if Jan will make mistakes or not, like that. The chop isn't a bad move, to be clear. It's just that it was whiffed, I think, and then the hand was a target. And something people sometimes forget when they're trying to counter moves with long guard is if you're throwing an attack out of long guard, you're basically surrendering the long guard properties right at that moment.
Yeah.
So if you're too early or too late with your attack, you might find yourself hit by a thrust, even though you caught it initially with long guard. So there's a timing that you have to learn with that chop to get it to always counter a thrust. And you know, sometimes losing long guard properties isn't that bad actually if your blade is in the way anyway. It's just that if the blade gets around, then you no longer have long guard. Messy fight so far. In Cortada, nice. And there was a trick shot attempt by Mechanics. Maybe he wanted the corkscrew, but it's tough to say. It is fairly easy to accidentally throw the trick shot if you're not careful. Ooh, that cut intercepted Jan's cut. That was cool, but ultimately if Jan gets this close, it's not good. Great attempt all the same by Radzik. The chop, nice. Yeah. Push attempt, nice jab. But again, Jan is allowed to get way too close, and Marie is done for. Chop. I think a jab was attempted there, but in this game, thrusts are pretty easy to deflect, so I think a little bit of blade contact happened, and so that stab, even if it was going to kill, it just didn't land. Nice triangle there, aggressive, but sometimes you have to do stuff like that. And it actually was working fairly well earlier too, as a way to ensure that the first attack lands. The double lunge is a great try, but too close, unfortunately, means that the stab will not hit for full power.
Alright, so Mechanics wins 7-3, and Mechanics is back in the grand final. So we're gonna fight again. Congratulations, Rats. Third place. Got the Yatik versus Sava 2 times against some of the best players on the server, but this is the game we play, and
Yeah.
rules are very simple here. So this is gonna be a best of 3. If I win, then the tournament is over. If Mechanics wins, we're gonna go into a sudden death set. Let's see how many characters we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. So that would basically, so it ensures us for the grand final. And there are a bunch of characters here that I don't know how to play really well, but Mechanics does. So hopefully he doesn't get them. Okay, again I'm starting on the left side, Mechanics on the right. Okay, let's see the characters now. So my character is Jakub. Not a great pick. Let's see who he gets.
What, should be like Denise or something? The stream is delayed
Tarna.
for me, so.
Tarna.
Okay.
Tarna, which is his main.
Okay.
So this is gonna be,
Yeah,
or at least it was, up to recent. Yeah, this is interesting. We'll see how this goes. Let me tell him. Sure. Oh, okay, he's here. Okay, so Mechanics gets Tarna. So this is gonna be a very interesting fight. Jakub is literally my least played character. I think I
Mm-hmm.
have like 10 minutes played with him, but I think we can make him work. Give him a win.
Yeah, it
Okay,
would be nice to see.
so it was stable. So we can do village now. This is even harder than what we had before. Oh my god, he's so slow. Nice. It's not going well.
Right. Yeah, Tarna is really tricky for Jakob, I think. Again, it kind of feels like worse Samuel,
Yeah.
almost. I think Samuel could probably do a bit better. He's more responsive, I think, and just more saber options in general. Nice push though, Venator using some sort of basic Hellish Quart tactics here. You know, the push is one of those universal things that you can try, so I applaud him for giving that a go, even though it's risky, just sort of mixing it up. And I think given the way Mechanics is playing, it was a calculated risk there. And there we go, wins the exchange. The stance switch, as we've been talking about, proving to be a weak spot there. You can use it to your advantage, but you do have to be careful. And there, Venator's able to intercept the cut, but I'm sure he's feeling very threatened right now by these wide, sweeping cuts. He has to constantly stay on his toes. Nice exchange again. This is a matchup he played earlier with Hassan, though. He roughly understands the game plan, and he's starting to get an advantage. I'm sure even now it still feels really difficult, but... Oh, yeah. Yeah, the idea was solid there, but Mechanics intercepted his attack as well as hitting his arm. But I think I see what Venator was trying to do. Just wasn't the correct time. High guard there. Some sweeping cuts by Mechanics. Left foot forward stance. And there you go, Venator just calls him out there. That lunge move is actually pretty nice. Jakob does have a few of these attacks that I do really like. The problem is he doesn't have many attacks in general to speak of. But that is one of his better moves. You have to use it properly though. It's a great move to zone with Jakob. Push again, and yeah, Mechanics was too close to land a cut. And so, although it looked a little janky, Venator's push was through. And there we go, another push. Nicely done. Just sort of using fundamental Hellish Quart moves there in certain instances, like the push that you can apply to pretty much any matchup if you use it properly, and catching Mechanics off guard.
To be fair, he's not that bad with some of his attacks. Some of his cuts are actually quite fast. He has a pretty good stance.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's kind of a Sam clone, but he doesn't really play like him. He kind of has a different mindset. Oh, I put Jakob there. I was thinking about Jakob. Okay, so what basically Mechanics needs to do right now is to defeat me 3 times in a row in order to win this. If I win one of the next 3, I win the tournament. But in this particular scenario, anything can happen. Let's see who Mechanics gets next. Okay, we got some Dennis and Sam over there. So Mechanics now will be getting Jendrik. Okay. And I am getting Sam. Okay, this is a good matchup for me, I have to admit. Probably the first time I actually get a favorable matchup against the Mechanics. Okay, maybe Laszlo versus Hassan is favorable as well. So Jendrik versus Sam. And honestly, I would like to end it right here. Mechanics. Oh, let me tell him. Yeah. Okay, beginning with Smoky Sam. On the castle courtyard where Sam, I think that's Sam's in the story, that's his castle. Let's see what happens here.
The jump there, forcing the double. Risky move, but a move that's pretty much guaranteed to hit at close range. Unless you do something like sidestep it. Big chop there, nice dash there to get out of the way. Salmon is actually pretty good at that. He's not known for being fast, but in short bursts he actually can sidestep really well, and he can lunge really effectively. He moves very responsively. And good usage of the sidesteps in this matchup. High guard, a nice way to claim space away from Jendrik. And punishing the fact that Mechanics sort of threw that squat chop out there. And he went for a hook, actually, after that chop, but not able to do so in time. And I like how Venator's playing this. He's not just randomly cutting, but he's exerting dominance where needed, and just playing a clean game with his distance management. Which is another way you can approach this matchup. Good lateral movement as well, making it tough for Mechanics to track him. Which is one of the drawbacks of Jendrik. That is one way to counter him, is to move laterally. And a nice try there. But I don't think the axe head actually hit the leg. So it hurt, I suppose. It took out some stamina, but it did not connect. And actually, Samuel has a thing where if he sidesteps, he kind of parries with his sword a little bit, and I think we saw that there. The sword gets in the way as you try to punish it. So he's actually pretty solid, I would say, as he sidesteps as far as the guard is concerned. Especially if you're not hitting at the proper range with Jendrik. And Mechanics possibly having some issues now.
Yeah, flick the long guard if you're gonna go. Okay.
Okay, yeah. At this point, probably pretty safe to assume he's prepared to fight, but good sportsmanship all the same by Venator. Oof, some feints there. Venator getting really fancy with it, and actually almost landed it twice there. Mechanics has to be very careful, and the back Y, but it's still a double. It looked like Venator had it for just a moment. Mechanics sort of throwing a Hail Mary. Mechanics is, that's a very brave move, and it actually kind of worked in the sense that, yeah, but it didn't obviously secure the kill.
Yeah, good fight. This time the matchup was heavily favorable. I would say Sam
Yeah.
is one of the best characters in the game right now. We have to say. Yendre Koldo can do some good things. Um, Against Sam, it's a pretty tough matchup. Anyway, great tournament today with some nice matchups, with some good surprises, with some nice flags overall. Subu, thank you very much for helping out as always.
No
Congratulations
problem.
to Mechanics as well for making it this far. It really shows that even though he's a new player, he was able to adapt and gotta give him props. There was a match earlier against Platy where he used Marie and Martha with great success, and he might actually be in the top five right now after this event. And you know what? Let's actually have a look since we're still here. I will be closing the tournament and hopefully it will update, and we're gonna have a look at the rankings for this month because we're getting close to the end of the month, and mechanics is always around top five if not in top five, and today's event surely puts him out there. Let's see, August, let's see if it's updated. Not updated yet. I'm just gonna refresh it a few times. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's updated. Let's all have a quick look at it. Um, I am first place. Subu is second. Oak is third. Caster still fourth. Mechanics lands at number five, having won 11 points today, which is really good. Just one, sorry, 3 points ahead of Rats. So winning the direct matchup against the Rats put Mechanics above Rats. So it's always nice to see these things. We got a bunch of people who are competing for the top five. We got Caster with 34 points, Mechanics 31, Rats with 28, Grid with 27, Captain Adler with 26, and after that, the gap is pretty big. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a very interesting month, and next week we're gonna have the Olympics as well, and see who's going to get the top five. With that being said, again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for competing. Thank you, Subo, again for helping out with commentary. Have a wonderful
No
rest
problem.
of the evening, and I'll see you guys soon.